Let's find the valley. Valley is the downtrend that brings you there, which is right here. So you can see in this moment on 15-minute charts, you would have had the leg of a move and you would have had a hold level. This happens on all time frames at all times. You come up, if you hold the hold level, you can continuously move up, right? If you back attack this leg that starts the move, you've lost the trend, right? It's the same thing that happens on this side, right? Like if you notice the downtrend, if it hits this level, but can't back attack the leg, it will continue to move down for the exact same reason, right? If you can't break the break level, if you can't target this level here, you'll just constantly be moving down, and that's it. It's fractally relevant, just like we looked at the daily where you had the daily leg and the larger part of the move, but that's over how many candles, right? So even if you look at this and you flip the chart, again, same thing, whichever way on the chart you are, but in order to end this downtrend, you can't come up and target this level here because all you've done is fail to gain the valley, which is just failing to break that distribution cycle. All this is showing you is the level that will stop the move out, right? So if you actually have to break this distribution cycle to come here to do this kind of thing at a larger time frame to back attack whatever levels up here, you have to end that cycle somewhere, and that's what your hold and break levels will show you, right? So this is how you would step through and say, okay, like these are like all good short opportunities, whatever, right? But until one of these legs get touched, right, you can see there's nothing being attacked in this whole entire area. Until one of those gets hit, you actually can't start the move, right? You can't end distribution until one of those gets hit. And then you would break this down fractally and you'd say, okay, well, yes, you have a hold level here, which and you can see it, right? You have the valley right here, and you have, you have the peak there in the valley here. You have the peak there, and then you have the valley here, right? And until this moment gets attacked, you can't break that downtrend. This right here, you see it comes up and it rejects that level, right? Rejects that level because this whole cycle here is trying to attack this right there. Then it creates another micro cycle. Just the same cycle you're seeing here, where you have the attack of the hold level, is the same thing that's happening here. You have the attack of the hold level, and the hold level, and the hold level, right? Until you can finally come up and hit that valley. But you can see the hold level constantly compresses the move, right? You can see this constantly compresses this, and this is constantly being protected by this, which is the same thing, compresses it, protects it, whatever. Holds, 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 hits the larger hold, right? Hits the larger hold, finally breaks the leg of the move. That can end the cycle, right? That can end its cycle. And then it's happening even fractally, even further than that. You have even this here against this hold here, but it just comes to a point where the bleed has stopped and accumulation has occurred, right? You even have it down on these fractal time sentences, but this is a 4-hour chart. So if you were to break this down, you would see the same thing happening here on an hourly time frame. You would see this move being held back right here, right? Like how many 15-minute candles probably came up and hit this hold level before it could come and break the move, right? But it's fractal. You're not going to be able to see that small of a time frame. So there's no point in really looking at that one. And then go to a larger time frame, go to the daily, right? Remove all drawing tools. Let's go to here, for example. You have the valley there. Come on. Oh, trading view. You have the valley here, right? This is always going to be what we need to attack, the valley. Like that's always going to be your level that you need to attack. There should be no doubt in people's minds about that. And this is the hold level. This is the level that will hold it. See, which is just a longer time frame ladder. And then you just continuously have this, right? You have it here. You have it here. See? You have a hold level holding the move back until you can attack the leg in that moment, right? And let's delete that one because we actually don't need that leg. All we actually need to see is that hold level. This is where we had it marked prior. If we were to take this trend right here, like this valley right here, and put this hold level here, you'll see that that's what holds it from breaking that part of the move. So you will find them. It's just that it's only as important as the hourly, right? So in this case, where it's the hourly, just like how we move back in time to that October timeframe, and we looked at the daily being held. One's right here, that moves up fractally, and then it's right here, and you can see where this valley is being held. It's disallowing the attack of this leg, right? It's disallowing the attack of this leg right here. So this is always going, like, that's kind of goes back to what I said about there was always going to be a break level being a hold level. It's discerning which information is important, right? Because you could break this down to the 15-minute charts, right? You don't, like, this is not important for us anymore. This like marking this is I've been saying this a lot lately. Marking this is just like you're basically just becoming a historian. This has no relevance in our charts. Like, this has no relevance going forward. This is the question that's being asked. Are we going after the leg of the move, or are we holding the hold? And then you break it down fractally further. You see how the hold level is compressing it down. This is showing you that it's not able to attack its leg. Now, granted, this is pretty close time frame, but now we go to something like Dent. People are asking, oh, what's the story with Dent? Well, it hit an inverse. It hit a hold level. It hit the inverse hold level, right? It can't continue to move up because it hit the hold level. It can't break the leg of distribution as long as this is holding. Like, and we're on a weekly time frame, right? So this becomes a pretty large impeding target, right? A hold level or a break level on a weekly time sense. Like, this becomes a very impeding target, right? But again, that's quite a nice move on Dent, right? And then for someone to say, well, I think Dent is going to be an uptrend. Well, I beg to differ. You hit a hold level. How can you break the move if you're hitting a hold level? Now look at where we are in Dent today, right? So the difference between something going up or down, is it breaking its distribution or is it holding it, right? Because this is telling you it's holding distribution, because all this is showing you is that it's still laddering down on a larger time frame, right? Ladder, 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 possibly start another ladder. Like, this has not entered accumulation yet. And then you go to something like Key as well. Key hits its hold level, and then look at Key, it just distributes right down afterwards. You see, it hit its hold level, and then just complete distribution, just without a doubt distribution. Like, what did this lose? 40%, 24% in how many days? Now, mind you, our markets are tanking right now, right? So fine, our markets are tanking, but still, this could be, and there are coins that are still in accumulation right now. Oops, I went to the monthly, went too far. But this is showing you that this is still distributing until it can back attack the valley of the move, right? Until it can actually come and back attack this, distribution cannot end. Distribution cannot end until it back attacks this. Now you're getting deeper down the rabbit hole as to start saying things like this. Now you're getting deeper down this rabbit hole to say, okay, can we hold this, which would actually then be back attacking this, or holding, where am I, the 4 hour? I'd actually rather go to the daily here, or holding this, right? Hold versus break. Now I'm looking at rebuy targets. Now I've hit my inverse. I'm looking at a rebuy target right here. On an hourly time frame, you're kind of looking at this thing as to, or maybe hourly is a little too short, but you go to a 4 hour chart, and what are you attacking? Like, you're attacking this right here. Like, you're attacking this valley right here on the move. So in one sense, you are selling the correct downtrend level. You're selling the correct level in one sense. In the other sense, you are rejecting the move. So this is where that fractal relevance can get a little hard to discern between. This is where you have to have more information and more understanding, because now you're starting to do things like this. You're starting to say, okay, if we can hold this level, technically we can create an uptrend, right? So now you're going deeper into your charts and saying, looking at this thing and saying, okay, we hit an inverse level on the weekly. That's fine. Can we hold this uptrend? Well, we don't know if we can hold the uptrend until we see if the hold level can hold. Right now, it's not really holding this hold level. So then we start to drill down further and we say, okay, let's see a 12-hour. 12-hour hold is technically right here. So this is actually technically the hold level, because this is the valley that's showing us our greediest target. Now we can go down even further and say, okay, well, is there a 4 hour here? If this 12-hour can't hold, is there a 4? I would trust the 12 here. I wouldn't go down to this 4 because this is just saying. But then again, you look at coins like BTT, and when BTT first came out, this is what I was using to see BTT moving up. I saw on, let's go to BTT for a minute, because this will interest people, because people have always asked me how I saw the move on BTT, and I've never really shared this with very many people, but I will share today. Okay. During the opening of this move, there was a tiny little couple minute valley in here where BTT first launched, and it went straight up in minutes. It went straight up, and right before it went straight up, it did this. It came down, created a little tiny valley right there. It went straight up, right? So this was that point in BTT where this is the break, this is the hold. And in BTT, inside of this valley here, if it can hold this move, it's technically laddering, right? It's technically doing this. If it can hold the move, it's technically doing this ladder like this, right? It's technically creating this ladder. So it can ladder up over and over and over and over. And then you kind of go into BTT, and you look at what are we on, a 1 hour chart here? You start to take this and you start to like walk through a move up, and you say, okay, here's the hold, here's the break. Now, really, we don't even actually need to know where the hold is. Or sorry, the break. I keep saying the wrong one. Jeez, I haven't had enough coffee. We really don't need to know where the break is, because technically, if we don't hold the hold, the move is over. But anyways, that's fine. We can just mark them both out for this example. And then you have this here protecting this here. You notice how it comes up, comes down, right? So you go from 22 sats to 25 sats. Looks like distribution. The move holds. It continues to move up. Well, you have this here protecting probably this fractally, but for now, we're just going to do it properly as we are protecting this leg here. So comes up, right? Tries to hold this, breaks the leg, move is over. After that, it's just a story of distribution, because it stopped its ladder. Hey everyone, how's it going? As you know, I'm now giving out some of this content for free that I was otherwise charging for the past little while. Yeah. Drop a donation, subscribe to the channel, join Patreon. You'll get access to Discord. Great way. Lots of top level traders in there, people who are doing this for a career every single day. So go to Patreon, join a tier, get access to Discord. Go on Reddit, talk about future of trading, talk about the science of trading, talk about cotton candy, socials, everything you can. Let's help this thing grow. It's the way you guys can thank me for giving out this content for free that I was otherwise charging money for. So I'll leave a Bitcoin address on the screen. I'll leave the Patreon address on the screen. Just do something to help out. Okay, thanks guys. Take care.